Good Tuesday evening and welcome to the NCWLIFE Evening News. I'm Grant Olson. Before we get to today's top news stories, let's take a quick look outside our weather window and doesn't feel like fall today, did it? Felt more like winter all over north central Washington. Beautiful shot though, looking at Leavenworth from our Steins Hill Sky-Fi Tower camera. And you can see the trees at the bottom left-hand side of your picture blowing somewhat this afternoon. We did see some windy conditions, blue sky out there, but very cold temperatures. And talk about cold, 17 our overnight low in the Wenatchee area this morning with 14 our wind chill. And tonight, 18 degrees. In fact, almost every one of those temperatures you see on that map will be record lows for that city. And our record low for Wenatchee is 20 degrees. And it looks like we will break that as we get into Wednesday morning. And we'll talk much more weather and how long this cold weather will stick around coming up a little bit later on in your weather forecast. And now a few of the stories we're following for you tonight. A police chase in Moses Lake this morning ended when the suspect's vehicle crashed into a power pole, knocking out power to about 160 Grant PUD customers. An East Wenatchee lawyer charged with spousal assault is now serving 51 days in jail after a 5-year-old DUI arrest. And a Wenatchee man who killed 2 kittens during a domestic violence incident was sentenced Monday to 7 months in jail. But first we begin tonight. A barn was destroyed and 40 chickens killed when a wind-fueled brush fire scorched over 15 acres in the Rock Island area last night. The 2-alarm fire was first reported around 6 p.m. Sheriff Kevin Morris says it started near South Wells Street and 8th Street Southeast. It's above Pear Lane. He says low-level evacuations were ordered in several homes in that area.
About 19 homes total that we did level 1 evacuations. It was a fast-moving fire. We were fortunate, though. Firefighters were fortunate. The wind died down, and they were able to get control over it. Unfortunately, a barn with some chickens were lost, but no other, permanent structures lost. So nobody's been displaced permanently for a while, and no injuries. So they do have it extinguished now, and all roads are open, and all evac notices have been removed.
The sheriff says a brush fire this late in the season is unusual. He says he was amazed at how fast it spread in the strong, windy conditions.
We were unscathed. Usually this time of the year the fire season stops, but this goes to show that if you under the right conditions, especially with that wind, that fire can move, and it can move very quickly. So I believe the fact that we have had some humidity and the conditions are better. It's not in the middle of the summer. That fire did not expand any bigger than it did.
An investigation continues into the fire's cause. There was speculation early on that the fire may have been caused by agricultural burning, but the sheriff says that has not been confirmed. Well, the police chase in Moses Lake this morning ended when the suspect's vehicle crashed into a power pole, knocking out power to about 160 Grant County PUD customers. Moses Lake police said one of their officers attempted to pull the driver over about 8:15 a.m. for outstanding warrants. That led to a pursuit that ended at the intersection of Patton and Westover Boulevards when the car hit the power pole, completely knocking it over. Live wires landed on the officer's car, but he was not injured. The 3 occupants of the car that hit the pole suffered minor injuries. Grant County PUD spent most of the day replacing the pole and restoring power to the Larson housing community. An East Wenatchee lawyer charged with spousal assault is now serving 51 days in jail for a 5-year-old DUI arrest. Probation authorities say 54-year-old Paul Kuby violated a deferred prosecution agreement for a DUI he committed in 2014 by consuming alcohol at least twice. He checked into the Chelan County Regional Justice Center on October 16th, and he's due to be released on November 24th. Kuby is also charged with domestic violence in Douglas County for allegedly breaking his wife's nose. He served several years as president of the Chelan County Nonprofit Association that provides defense attorneys when indigent clients are charged with a crime before resigning this past September. Well, just a warning, our next story contains a description of animal cruelty that may be disturbing to some viewers. A Wenatchee man who killed 2 kittens during a domestic violence incident was sentenced Monday to 7 months in jail. Police say Marcos Aviles Espinoza, who's 29 years old, stepped on one of the 6-week-old kittens and kicked the other against a wall back on September 4th during a violent outburst toward a family member. He pleaded guilty to 2 counts of first-degree animal cruelty, and Chelan County Superior Court Judge Travis Brandt ordered him to pay $1,000 fine in addition to his jail time. Espinoza has been in custody since that incident. He must also undergo anger management classes and is barred from possessing pets for the rest of his life. Coming up next, about 240 PUD customers in the downtown Wenatchee area were without power for a little less than an hour early this afternoon. People enjoying Oktoberfest in Leavenworth this year seem to have gotten the message that driving drunk afterward is a bad idea. And East Peters Street in Wenatchee was closed all morning due to a hazardous tree that was leaning over the road because of last night's windstorm. I'm Grant Olson, and you're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News.
With 15,000 square feet to explore, you'll find something special at the Antique Mall at Cashmere. For the do-it-yourselfers and those with a keen eye for making something old fresh and new again, the Antique Mall at Cashmere is the place to come find your next project. From the coin enthusiasts to avid collectors, Antique Mall at Cashmere has treasures in every corner. Come find your treasure today. Antique Mall at Cashmere's friendly staff is here to help. Stop on by today.
Only one dealership in Wenatchee has Motor Trend's SUV of the Year and Truck of the Year. That's right, Town Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram has the all-new Jeep Wrangler and the all-new Ram 1500 pickup. Or get the best of both worlds in the new Jeep Gladiator. Visit Town Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram today for more information on these award winners and see why there's no reason to leave town to buy your next vehicle.
So Pam, how's your mom doing?
She's okay. She's struggling. She'd like to stay in her house, and it's getting harder for her to do the daily chores.
What kinds of problems is she having?
Just basic house cleaning, taking care of her house, yard work, taking care of her medicine.
Mm-hmm. It does sound exhausting.
It is very exhausting, and I always worry about her.
Aging and Adult Care can assist you or your loved one to remain comfortably and safely in their own home. Contact them today to start the conversation.
Welcome back. In another news, about 240 PUD customers in the downtown Wenatchee area were without power for a little less than an hour earlier this afternoon. The outage shortly after 1 o'clock led to intersections without signal lights, including at Wenatchee Avenue and 9th Street. In such cases, the intersection becomes a 4-way stop. The Chelan County PUD said a breaker carrying power out of a substation opened, and when crews checked it, closed it, it stayed closed, restoring power. The outage stretched from the areas of 5th and 9th Streets from Pierre to Emerson, and then north to the intersection of Mission and Miller. Well, people enjoying Oktoberfest in Leavenworth this year seem to have gotten the message that driving drunk afterward is a bad idea. Washington State Patrol Trooper John Bryant said over the 3-day weekends of the festival, there were 8 people in the Leavenworth area arrested for drunken driving. That's about half as many as last year. 4 of the arrests were by the State Patrol and 4 by Chelan County deputies. The first weekend, there weren't any arrests, and then 4 the second weekend and 4 more last weekend, the festival's final weekend. Bryant said it continues a pattern of fewer arrests each year. The state again this year had drunken driving emphasis patrols in the area. Well, East Peters Street in Wenatchee was closed all morning due to a hazardous tree that was leaning over the road. Peters Street was closed from Birch Mountain Road to Omi Garden Road. The road fully reopened around noon this afternoon. You're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News. Coming up next, tonight's features story and your complete local weather forecast. That and much more still to come on the NCWLIFE Evening News. Stay with us.
Some jobs are a calling. They require something deeper, an innate devotion to the communities in which we live. At Giza Credit Union, we help you support local firefighters. With every purchase you make with a Gisa Local Heroes Affinity debit card, we make a donation to select firefighter organizations. After all, we can never repay them, but we can do our best to help a little with the Gisa Firefighters Affinity debit card.
Are the rumors true, Corey?
Yes, they are, and you're going to love what we're doing at Sangster Buick GMC. Hi, Corey Sangster with a special offer. $49 down delivers. At Sangster Buick GMC, just $49 down and you're driving the vehicle of your dreams. Save thousands with below-market financing during our year-end closeout. Yes, the rumors are true. Just $49 down delivers. Choose your vehicle and compare equipment, price, and warranty at Sangster Buick GMC or online at sangstermotors.com, where caring about your family brings you back to ours.
Being able to support yourself and your family is an important part of who we are. We all need to know we're able to provide ourselves with a secure future. Some job seekers have a harder time finding work. That's why Goodwill's Employment Connection Center is here, a free walk-in job search assistance program designed to help people find work. When you shop at or donate to Goodwill, you're really being a job creator, and that's a good thing for everyone's future. Goodwill. There's more behind the store.
Welcome back to the NCWLIFE Evening News. In tonight's features story, a pilot program is slated to start this winter to help bring a warm place to sleep for homeless individuals here in the Wenatchee Valley. NCWLIFE's Caitlin Hedersheet tells us more.
In an effort to address the need for a low-barrier shelter in the Wenatchee Valley, Laurel Turner of the Women's Resource Center says the Emergency Shelters program going into effect this winter is the first step in addressing that need.
And, you know, we've been really trying to get a full-time low-barrier shelter in Wenatchee for a long time. I've been here 5 years, and we've been talking about it the whole time. So I thought, well, there's a solution at least for the severe weather times. If we don't have something 24/7, at least we can have something for those times. I was particularly motivated by the fact that, unfortunately, we lost 3 people on the streets in last winter.
When the Women's Resource Center started looking into how to get a program started locally for this winter season, Laurel realized several other organizations in the valley were on the same page. The effort expanded to include Joel Courtney from the Cascade Unitarian Church, Deb Miller from Action Health Partners, and eventually Gary Steele with the People's Foundation.
Gary's group is actually way ahead of us because Gary has experience with this. He ran a severe weather shelter in Lacey and in Olympia for several years.
It's a very simple model, and we only open our doors during the cold winter months. And we moved over here in 2015, and I've been trying to get something going, you know, for the last couple of years, and finally connected with Holy Apostles Church with the deacon over there, Deacon Tom Richmeyer and his wife Jean, and with the pastor, Father Alhamiro, and asked him if we would consider doing it during the winter season, and thank God he said, he gave us a green light, and so things kind of took off from there. And so we wrote 2 separate applications for funding. I wrote one with Joel to try to get up to 3 shelters under that grant. And then Gary and that foundation wrote for another grant to get their one set up for this year, and that would be at Holy Apostles Church in East Wenatchee. And that's when we went before the steering committee and presented our information, and it was fantastic to have Gary there because he could really answer those nuts and bolts questions about how is this really going to work. And they were very encouraged. They were very, I think everybody realizes the importance of this initiative.
After working with the City of Wenatchee Housing Programs Service, the groups were awarded the funding they outlined in their grants, totaling $66,000 for the 2 projects this winter season. The People's Foundation will operate their shelter from the Holy Apostles Church in East Wenatchee, with 5 other local churches expressing interest in participating. Laurel says they expect to serve close to 50 people per night starting December 1st, with the help of volunteers from each church. She gives us a rundown of what the program will look like. It would be using, a church basement. They would be provided with a mat, a sleeping bag, or some blankets, a pillow. They would get some refreshments when they first got there, maybe just some shelf-stable food like a protein bar or granola or something, and something to drink.
and then they would be asked to stay on the property and stay inside until we wake them up in the morning, and then there would be transportation. And this was, again, some of the stuff that came out of the People's Foundation, and we could transport them back to, say, the Powerhouse in East Wenatchee, where they could get a meal. There would not be an expectation of, or a requirement of sobriety, but if someone came in and they weren't behaving poorly and they could please just go sleep it off, they would be allowed to come in and sleep it off, and then in the morning we would transport them.
The emergency shelters will run through the end of February, and Laurel says she hopes the pilot program could expand in the future. Caitlin Hedersheet, NCWLIFE News.
Time now for a check of your North Central Washington weather forecast. Before we get to those details, let's take a look outside our weather window. The Stein Hills Sky-Fi Tower camera looking at Leavenworth. And you can see we did see a little bit of windy conditions around the area this afternoon. And with that cold air funneling down from Canada, that wind made it feel awfully cold. In fact, wind chills into the 20s most of the day today. But boy, looks can be deceiving, can't they? Beautiful blue sky out there, the fall colors all up and down the upper valley. But as I said, looks can be very deceiving. High temperatures today unofficially in the Wenatchee area, 38 degrees, and that's well below where we should be for this time of year. 53 is normal, 21 our overnight low temperature, 37 is our normal low. Records for this date, 2012 was our record high temperature, and that was 68 degrees. Wouldn't that feel good right now? A record low, 20 degrees, set back in 1971, so we were one tick away from tying a record low temperature overnight last night, but we may do it tonight, and we'll talk more about that in a second. Precipitation since January 1st, we're still holding at 6.39 inches. Sunrise this morning, 7:40, and the sun will set tonight at 5:49. Let's take a peek at how your Wednesday will shape up, our midweek Wednesday. Not a lot different than today, folks. We'll see lots of sunny skies tomorrow, very calm wind. That will be the difference tomorrow from today, but temperature-wise, not a whole lot of change. 41 in Moses Lake and Ephrata, 39 the high temperature in Wenatchee, also Cashmere, 38 for you folks up in Leavenworth, 39 in Chelan, and 41 the high temperature up in Omak. Surface loop time now, and tonight we will expect mostly clear skies out there, calm wind conditions. Once again, possible record cold because we will see clear skies. These are all 30s inside this blue area, below zero for the purplish colors, and we are going to see that much cold air pushing down from Canada, and that's not going to change a whole lot as we get into Wednesday during the day. And there it is, more of that cooler air. Although Washington, we will be moderating somewhat beginning tomorrow as high pressure continues to build off the coast, and that will bring our temperatures up somewhat by Thursday. Partly cloudy, calm winds once again, slightly warmer. Notice most of the blue colors now moving off into the east, into the Montana and the Dakotas. We will stay with just those crystal clear skies on Friday, and it will warm up slightly once again for Friday. So big football game this weekend at Eastmont. It looks pretty nice for Friday night, just a little bit chilly. On Saturday, mostly sunny, and then our temperatures climb back to normal. As I just showed you, that's around 52 or 53 degrees. Most of Washington will enjoy that. A few more clouds moving in along this very weak front that will come into the western part of the state on Sunday. Temperature-wise, though, we'll continue that warm up. Look at the yellow areas. That's even upper 50s for a lot of us in central and eastern Washington. So a very nice end to our weekend expected coming up for Monday. Mostly sunny and mild. We will see once again temperatures basically in the middle 50s. Lots of rain rotating around this area of high pressure, but most of that will come down and then funnel back down through most of eastern Montana. Let's take a look now at your quick lube and tune 7-day forecast. 37 today, very close to our prediction. 39 tomorrow, 23 the overnight low, 44 for your Halloween Thursday. Keep in mind it will be a little bit chilly if you wait to get out there with the kids trick-or-treating after dark. That's when it'll really cool down. 27 our overnight low for Thursday, and then the warm-up begins by the end of the week on Friday. 50 for a high temperature Friday, 53 Saturday, 56 your high Sunday, and back to normal with 55 your high temperature for Monday. And that's a look at your local weather forecast. Coming up next, tonight's Sports Report with Eric Grantrom and more as the NCWLIFE Evening News continues right after this.
Local Myth Pizza, we believe in real food, freshly prepared with only premium ingredients. Our cheeses are imported from Italy. Our sauces, dressings, and even our sausages are made in-house fresh daily. Featuring Northwest craft beers and 30 Chelan Valley wines and ciders. Family fun and amazing food. Eat local, drink local, and be local at Local Myth Pizza.
Come see why Sunset Magazine says you can't beat Local Myth Pizza.
Arctic Refrigeration and Heating has been serving North Central Washington for 34 years. Arctic provides the finest heating and cooling air quality products for residential and commercial customers, along with prompt and professional customer service. Arctic also offers specialty services like custom sheet metal fabrication of ductwork, coil cleaning, as well as planned fall and spring maintenance for the overall well-being of your system. Arctic is available for emergency calls 24/7. Call Arctic Refrigeration and Heating for your heating and cooling needs.
Travel enhances your life in every way. Let the travel professionals at Journey Travel and Tours help you plan that dream vacation. Don't leave the important details to those nameless, faceless online agencies. At Journey Travel and Tours, our goal is to build relationships that last a lifetime. And when you do need help, we have a 24-hour helpline that is routed to one of the agents in our office. When you think travel, think Journey Travel and Tours. It's where your journey begins. Like us on Facebook, and you could be one of our monthly winners.
And now it's a sports update on the NCWLIFE channel.
And a happy Tuesday to you. The Houston Astros are back home at Minute Maid Park with 2 chances to win their second World Series title. Game 6 of the Fall Classic is tonight as Justin Verlander takes on Steven Strasburg. Verlander is 0-6 in his World Series starts and would love to turn that around tonight. Houston leads the best-of-7 series 3-2 after taking 3 in a row at Nationals Park. Now, if Washington can pull off the win tonight and force a Game 7, it would be the only time in World Series history that the visiting team has won each of the first 6 games. Through 5 games, this World Series marks only the 3rd time that a road team has won each game. It happened in 1996 between the Yankees and Braves, and in 2006 between the White Sox and the Cubs. Well, the Seahawks are back home preparing to face the Tampa Bay Buccaneers Sunday at CenturyLink Field. Seattle finished the first half of the season 6-2 with Sunday's 27-20 win over Atlanta. Now, Coach Pete Carroll met with reporters Monday, confirmed that Justin Britt, center for the Seahawks, suffered an ACL injury on his knee and will need a major repair. Carroll also was asked about the status of newly signed defensive back Quandre Diggs, who came over in a trade from Detroit, and tight end Ed Dixon, who's coming off a knee injury.
We're going to take him through the week and see. He had a hamstring that he came to us with, and he had played with it. But we just feel, and we've uncovered that we needed to take care of him to get him back fully. And so he'll be running around this week, and he was very controlled last week, and we'll see how far he can go. I can't say that he's for sure back yet for this weekend. He's going to go this week. We're bringing Ed back, and with the thought, and give him a chance to practice with the chance to play. So we've worked him really hard leading up to this time, through his rehab and all, where he's been preparing for the workload, and we're very optimistic, that he could, if he can make it through the week. We got to see how he handles the workload. We don't know about that yet, of course, but his mindset is on plan.
Carroll was asked to assess his team after a 6-2 first half of the season. He says he's seen glimpses of what could be, but they're not there yet.
Yeah, John, I think we're in solid shape of kind of being aware of what we're capable of doing and how we can play. In the basic area, special teams is firing pretty well for us. Looking for some help still in return game. We haven't had very many chances in returns. The running game seems pretty consistent with the ability to take it up another notch, I think. The protection stuff is doing all right. We're able to move the quarterback around, do a lot of things with Russ. Defensively, we're playing good up front in the running game, and we're staying on top, not giving up touchdown passes and all that. We need to be trying to get more aggressive and more of a factor on the intermediate stuff, and that will come from our combination of ways to put pressure on the quarterback. We have to get that going. That's probably the biggest area that we would like to improve and see if we can continue to grow there.
After hosting Tampa Bay this Sunday, Seattle plays on Monday Night Football at San Francisco, November 11th, before getting into the bye week. Let's take a look at the coming up schedule for the NCWLIFE sports this week. Begins tonight in Cashmere, where the Bulldogs host Cascade in a Caribou Trail League Girls Soccer Classic. Cashmere 7-0 in league play, 11-3-1 overall. The Kodiaks 6-1 in the CTL, 9-5 on the season. Sebastian Moraga and Matt Wiesen will have the call at 6:30 tonight here on the NCWLIFE channel. Thursday night hockey features Wednesday's birthday night game between the Wenatchee Wild and West Kelowna Warriors at home. The team celebrated Coach Bliss Littler's birthday on that day. We'll be at Wildcat Stadium for Moses Lake and Eastmont Friday in our Friday Night Lights. I'll be alongside Grant Olson with your play-by-play. Then Saturday, the Eastmont girls host Moses Lake in the final game of the regular season. Wildcats could clinch the Big Nine title with a win. I'll be alongside Matt Wiesen for all the action beginning at 1 o'clock on Saturday. Now, speaking of soccer, let's check out the rest of the schedule for the day today. Manson playing at Tenasket, Okanagan hosting Chelan. CWAC District Tournament getting underway today with East Valley of Yakima playing at Ephrata, while Quincy's at Othello. As we mentioned, Cashmere hosting Cascade live on the NCWLIFE channel. Then 7 o'clock game times for Davis at Moses Lake and Wenatchee at Eisenhower as the Chiefs and Panthers battle for second place in the Big Nine. On the volleyball courts tonight, Entiat's hosting Easton. Cascade's on the road at Omak, while Okanagan hosts Chelan. Then 7 o'clock tonight, Ephrata at East Valley of Yakima. Quincy's on the road at Othello. Davis hosts Moses Lake, and Wenatchee celebrates senior night with its final game at home against Eisenhower. Also, Caribou Trail League District Cross Country Championships were held earlier today at Walla Walla Point Park. The guns sounded at 2 o'clock. Hopefully, we'll get some results for you coming up tomorrow. That's a look at sports news. I'm Eric Grantrom on the NCWLIFE channel. Grant, back to you.
Thanks, Eric. And finally tonight, a visitor from Republic says the tourist town of Leavenworth owes him for damages to his car. James West filed a legal claim with the city on Friday after the windstorm that day brought down a tree branch on his 2011 Dodge Nitro while it sat at Waterfront Park. The claim doesn't ask for a specific amount of money, but West says the city should have known the trees in its public park posed a danger in high wind. The city says no. Waterfront Park is a woody public area where tree limbs often fall, and the city took steps to close the area on Friday when the winds got out of hand. Stay tuned for that one. Now let's check in with Dan Kuntz for a look at what's coming up tomorrow morning on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Dan?
Thank you very much, Grant. We appreciate it. Tomorrow on the show, it's the two candidates running for East Wenatchee mayor. East Wenatchee is going to have a new mayor for the first time in 23 years. General Election Day, of course, is a week from today, November 5th. And also we'll have your very chilly weather forecast and highlights from Cashmere and Cascade girls soccer. All of that and everything you're used to live here tomorrow at 7 o'clock. Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Grant, back to you.
Thank you very much, Dan. And that's going to do it for our newscast tonight. For more on these stories and other news from around North Central Washington, you can find us on Facebook or our website at ncwlife.com. And remember, if you see news happening, we'd like to hear from you. You can send us an email at news@ncwlife.com or give us a call at 888-6295. I'm Grant Olson. Thanks for joining us. Have a great night.
NCWLIFE channel is your home for local news, local weather, and events including live local high school sports. Watch inspiring local shows featuring local people. Don't miss Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Let's learn. Guada TV. Street Talk and other stuff. The 12th District. Life with Lisa. And the Arbiter of Stoke. NCWLIFE channel is your local TV station.
Are you watching me? If you're watching me and you are a business owner in North Central Washington, your potential customers could be seeing your TV commercial right now. With Solion Broadcasting, TV advertising is effective and affordable. Place your ads on the network best suited to your potential customers or get top-of-mind awareness with 16 cable networks, including NCWLIFE, your local TV channel. Give Solion Broadcasting a call at 888-2020 today to see how easy and affordable it is to advertise on TV.
Have a fun video you'd like to see featured on NCW Life? Email us at newsphotos@ncwlife.com.